Welcome back to OtakuDaiKun. Dai-chan here, and you're watching the Waifu Files, a series where we discover and celebrate various anime and games through their lovely ladies. Recently, an industry legend has passed away, one that we have to thank for designing some of our most beloved characters. Mutsumi Inomata, a prolific artist and character designer from the 80s onward, recently died at the age of 63. I'm ashamed to admit that I hadn't fully realized her influence on my life till after her passing. Yet, when all of her works are laid out so cleanly, they help paint a picture of my fandom. As such, this special episode of the Waifu Files will focus on 10 of my favorite characters she's designed over the years. I hope to honor her legacy by introducing you to works you haven't heard of, or by reliving works you already cherish. My aim is not to profit off the clout of her passing, which is why the ad revenue from this video will be going straight to charity. I truly admire her work and want its legacy to inspire modern artists. Without further ado, let's dive in. Lightning-fast cars and smoking hot chicks. That's the aesthetic screaming from future GPX cyber formula. This 90s anime, most gorgeous in its OVAs, features characters designed by Inomata-san, most notably Asuka Sugo. Her father, Kojiro Sugo, is the CEO of Sugo Corporation, which owns a struggling cyber formula team. Asuka serves this team as communication staff and deputy owner. During events, she represents the team dressed as a phenomenal race queen. She's in love with the team's young driver, Hayato Kazami, which proves to be stressful. The closer she gets to him, the more she fears for his safety. This peaks when Hayato is severely injured in a crash, and during his recovery, Asuka loyally cares for him. The two even become engaged, and she desperately hopes he retires from racing. Their relationship is strained when Hayato instead returns to the circuit. It takes Asuka time to accept this and realize that racing is her lover's calling and passion. Eventually, she gathers the strength to return to the team, courageously supporting him with the pit crew. Her trust and encouragement help take Hayato to new levels in the racing world. When not working for the team, Asuka studies at Columbia University, where she aims to become a doctor. I'm a total sucker for retro OVAs, and Asuka's so lovely that I stamp her a certified favorite. I was delighted to discover her design came from Inomata, along with so many other fantastic waifu. In addition to retro OVAs, I also have a soft spot for old Japanese PC games. Back before the merger between Square and Enix, the former released an obscure text adventure named Alpha for the PC 8801. Inomata illustrated the cover art and designed its protagonist, Chris, who shares a similar appeal to Kei and Yuri from Dirty Pair, one of my all-time favorites. Alpha tells a cyberpunk story set on Daedalus, an interstellar ship with a massive residential section. Its passengers have been on board for so long that new humans grow up only knowing the vacuum of space. The Earth of old is but a dream now. Chris's adventure begins when a revolution occurs on board the ship, and she's caught up right in the middle of it. Unfortunately, I've never been able to play this game, English or otherwise, but it's clear how much aesthetic charm bleeds through these visuals. The pixel art is expressive, cleverly using a meager amount of colors to create that sci-fi atmosphere. Chris and her outfit design are something rarely seen today, and I miss it. That type of design, of course, is bikini armor, and Inomata-san was one of the artists who popularized it during the 80s and 90s. This is shown best in her art for Genmu Senki Reda, or Leda, The Fantastic Adventure of Yohko, a singular OVA film from 1985. It's a retro isekai, showing us just how long this genre has been around. Its waifu, Yohko Asagiri, is pulled from modern Japan into a fantasy world using music from her Walkman as a catalyst. An evil sorcerer named Zell aims to use the power of an ancient warrior, Leda, to conquer other worlds. Yohko finds herself obtaining Leda's artifacts and ascending as a warrior herself to take Zell down. Through this fantasy adventure, she builds courage, which she brings back to her world to confess her love for a boy she crushes on. She initially composed a sonata for this boy, but feared expressing herself. After saving a fantasy world from the brink of ruin, however, she no longer has anything to fear. The OVA's presentation is very dreamlike, making it like a sexier, more adventurous form of something like Alice in Wonderland or The Wizard of Oz. It was made during a time when anime could just be plain, stupid fun with gorgeous animation. You're not turning off your brain, but rather engaging more intimately with the visuals than the plot. That's the kind of anime I grew up with, and I had no idea it was the brainchild of a woman. Inomata knows what's hot, designing Yohko to be both attractive and badass. Contrary to what feminist critique might have you think, Yohko is both the object of our gaze and the active agent rocking her own adventure. Needless to say, I stamp her a certified favorite as well. Her armor may not be realistic, but neither is the talking dog she travels with. By far, Mutsumi Inomata is most known for designing the characters for the long-running Tales of series. The influence of these games cannot be understated, and the following 6 waifu are all from different Tales of RPGs. First up is Rutee Katrea from Tales of Destiny. In her world, she is a treasure hunter, and quite a greedy one at that. Specifically, she hunts monsters to earn lens, which she sells to the Oberon Corporation. Tales of Destiny features weapons named Swordians, which have their own consciousness. Rutee's Swordian is Atlight X, who was entrusted to her after her mother, Chris Katrea, passed away. This bestows Rutee's blade with healing and water abilities. In humanoid form, Atlight has served as a motherly figure to Rutee. Despite having a family, Rutee was raised in an orphanage so that she wouldn't fall victim to her father Hugo, the Oberon Corporation's president. His mind is being controlled by Cronus, manipulated into reviving the Etherian civilization. Safe from and ignorant of this, Rutee and her partner Mary earn cash to keep their orphanage from being demolished in favor of an art museum. After getting caught in a trap, however, she meets her eventual lover Stan, and later her distant brother Leon. They go on a journey to defeat Kronos, and afterward, she and Stan get married and have a child, Kyle, who becomes the protagonist of the game's sequel. That makes Rutee a MILF who runs her own orphanage. She's a tomboy treasure hunter who happily cares for others. Too bad the sequel, Tales of Destiny 2, never got an official localization. That won't stop me from covering Nunnally Fletcher, though. She's a descendant of the Aether race that Kronos used to rule over. She and her brother were born in Hopetown, which, despite its name, winds up being fairly grim. In the absence of parents, Nunnally took care of her brother Lou, who was plagued with an incurable disease. She learns that a holy woman, Elrain, could cure him, but doing so would make them forever indebted to Elrain and her faith. It was a sketchy cult that she wanted nothing to do with. Thus, Nunnally opted to stay in Hopetown until her brother died. Like Rutee, Nunnally too looks after her town's orphaned children, hoping to keep them from her brother's fate. Her suspicion of Elrain proved wise, as the Holy Woman becomes a religious tyrant who wants to wipe out current civilization and rule over one of ignorant bliss. To prevent this, Nunnally teams up with Kyle and Riala when they arrive in Hopetown from the past. Their battle spans across history and even alternate timelines, resulting in one where Nunnally is actually able to cure Lou. Overall, she's a sexy ranger who bombards her foes with magic and arrows. Tales of Eternia was my first experience with this series. It has local co-op, so my brother and I played this game together. He was the protagonist Reed, while I wound up with Farah Oersted, the game's best girl. Reed, Keel, and Farah were childhood friends at their village, which was led by her father, Norris. From a young age, Farah was a rebel, always trying to break rules and have fun. She took things too far when she stole her father's key to the Regulus Knoll, ignoring how that region housed a malevolent creature thought to be sealed away. When Norris came to save his daughter, the monster killed him with its dark aura, leading to a horde of beasts decimating the surrounding area. Farah mistakenly assumed the monster's escape was her fault, and to atone, she took up practice at Regulus Dojo to become a martial artist and protector of the weak. She and Reed worked as farmhands until meeting an alien girl named Meredy. Farah's desire to help Merity, who at first couldn't even speak the same language, starts her on a journey that spans both her world, Inferia, and Merity's homeworld of Celestia. To save these worlds from destruction, she comes to terms with her past, but even then, she still clings to a hot-headed, tomboyish personality. She's bossy, but given she can clobber monsters with her fists, perhaps she deserves to be. This rough, rural beauty is one of the most exciting characters to play as. It's amazing how Inomata was able to design beloved characters that shaped my childhood all the way up to my 30s. I was able to relive that awesome couch co-op experience, playing Tales of Grace's F with my wife back during college. Neither of us were into playing as mage characters, so it was great finding out that our next waifu, Cheria Barnes, could combo throwing knives in addition to her healing. Like our previous crew, Cheria and her friends all grew up together as kids, and their journey also centers around the appearance of a mysterious alien girl. Unlike Farah's rambunctiousness, however, Cheria was a sickly child who struggled to keep up with her friends Asbel, Richard, and Hubert. From early on, she's had a crush on Asbel, and their romance throughout the game is absolutely adorable. Initially, she worried that the alien girl, Sophie, would be her rival in love, but actually becomes more of a surrogate daughter to them. They were all separated when attacked by a powerful monster in the Barona catacombs. Left alone in her hometown for 7 years, Cheria learned healing arts, overcoming her weak constitution to protect herself in combat. She becomes known as the Angel of the Battlefield. As young adults, she and Asbel are able to reunite with their former group and, as expected, save the world. Cheria's outfit is adorable and dynamic, with an impressive amount of pink. I also love how she was voiced by Laura Bailey in English. She adds a cute, pouty sort of attitude. My wife would play as Cheria, while I mained Asbel, during a time when we could really buckle down and complete the entire story together. We were a couple playing as a couple, which immersed us even more. It's definitely one of my best experiences in gaming, and I have to thank Inomata in part for it. So far, Inomata's only been serving the appetizers in this series. For Tales of Exilia, she was really cooking when she designed Milla Maxwell, the first female protagonist in Tales. As her last name suggests, Milla is an incarnation of Maxwell, the Lord of Spirits, and she controls her world's 4 great spirits, Ifrit, Undine, Sylph, and Gnome. At first, she was raised by these spirits at her shrine in Miyakera until she was old enough to fight for herself. Milla also hears the cries of lesser spirits, a sign that the world is in danger. Devices known as Spyrexes have advanced human technology at the expense of the planet. They harness and consume spirits to cast arts, and as humanity continues to abuse this tech, Milla sets out to stop them. Milla first awakened to her Maxwell powers when she was 6 years old. She met the other protagonist, Jude Mathis, when he was just a baby. It was to protect him that she finally grasped her power. She would later reunite with Jude in his adulthood. The two investigate a massive Spyrex weapon known as the Lance of Kresnik. She tried to destroy it, but fell victim to it instead, losing the great spirits in the process. Milla and Jude team up to restore her connection with the spirits, fighting against the organization Exodus that continues to abuse them. Milla is only a small part of the Lord of Spirits, but she's sincere enough that the Great Spirits support her over Maxwell proper. Ultimately, she chooses to trust Jude and his advancements in Spyrite technology, trusting the invention of a device that can harness the spirits without hurting them. She ascends, taking the place of Maxwell in the spirit realm so that she can watch over Jude and the friends she's made along her journey. Milla's a stoic yet naive woman whose lack of human interaction results in comedic antics. Her outfit is revealing yet classy alongside her long, chaotic hair. Milla's another one of my certified favorites, and I'm so glad Exilia's Collector's Edition came with a figure of her. Milla was so amazing that I didn't think her design could be topped, but then Inomata put out her boldest, most amazing work with Velvet Crowe in Tales of Berseria. I remember seeing this badass babe and being shocked with disbelief, unable to comprehend how such a sexy design would ever get approved, for a game rated T for teen no less. I consider it a miracle, and Velvet's gone down as one of the strongest, most profound characters in JRPG history. Hers is a tale of betrayal and revenge, where you support an anti-hero on a quest that could only ever end bittersweet. You see, Velvet lived peacefully with her little brother Laphicet. He was sickly, and so Velvet took care of him, with the help of Arthur, or Artorias Colbrand. The two trusted Arthur after he saved their lives during a scarlet night during which the moon turned blood red and demons attacked Enmos. Arthur even taught Velvet how to fight. On a different scarlet night, however, Arthur does the unthinkable. Bound, unable to stop it, Velvet is forced to watch as Arthur sacrifices Laphicet, stabbing and throwing him into a deep shrine. When Velvet tries to follow after him, she is cursed, transformed into a Therian, a kind of demon that feeds off of other demons. As horrific as this is, Velvet uses her new form, specifically her massive demonic arm, to try and avenge her brother's death. Instead, however, Arthur captures Velvet, locking her away in a remote prison where she subsists off of lesser demons. After 3 years of this torment, she has the chance to break free and target Arthur once more. Now, however, the world worships Arthur as a hero and fears Velvet as the Lord of Calamity. Apparently, Laphicet's sacrifice protected their world, yet Velvet refuses to forgive Arthur, teaming up with a band of misunderstood vagabonds to take him down. Velvet is cathartic release incarnate, filled with empowered fury and rebellious spirit. This reflects in her edgy, revealing outfit. It's amazing that Inomata, a woman in her late 50s at the time, came up with such a cultured design. Perhaps her age was a major influence, as honestly, Velvet wears more clothes than, say, Conan the Barbarian or He-Man. Regardless, the result is one of my all-time favorite waifu. She's easily one of the best characters in all of fiction. For our last waifu, we turn toward the bizarre sci-fi anime Brain-Powered. It's set in a dystopian future where Earth is plagued by earthquakes and tsunamis, caused by a mysterious, living spaceship called Orphan. The ship is buried under the Pacific Ocean and aims to rise up to the surface and travel out into space, though doing so will wipe out all life on Earth. Despite this, there are humans, reclaimers, who seek to aid Orphan by piloting sentient mechs, or antibodies, named Grand Cher. In opposition, a group of surface humans pilot newly born antibodies, called Brain-Powered, to prevent Orphan's revival. It's a strange mix of Evangelion and Xenogears, but for now, our focus is on Hime Utsumiya, a young girl who witnesses the birth of a Brain-Powered and resonates with it. Having discovered she has a knack for piloting, Hime joins Novix Noah, the force fighting to protect the planet from Orphan. She's a compassionate girl who, like many of Inomata's other waifu, looks after children at an orphanage. Hime teams up with Yu Isami, a reclaimer who abandoned Orphan after learning of its ultimate goal. I can't help but compare Hime to iconic characters like Ellie from Xenogears and Marlene from Blue Gender. I actually hadn't heard of this show before now, and while it's definitely weird and fairly clumsy, I enjoy it for its ominous atmosphere and Romeo and Juliet-themed romance. Also, for some reason, the entire opening theme is just filled with naked chicks. Not sure why, but I'm sure not complaining. Hime's definitely the anime's best trait, as she's very pretty and energetic. Consider giving this one a shot if you're a fan of Inomata's other designs. With that, hopefully you now understand just how awesome Inomata's characters are. Not only will she be remembered as a fantastic artist, but I also hope that new artists continue to share the same sensibilities. For me personally, that means creating strong, sexy female characters that both brighten our day and show us a unique kind of empowerment that often gets dismissed or shunned. There's a strong maternal quality to her characters, many of them gaining strength to protect the weak in times of turmoil. Orphans, younger siblings, these become the catalysts which encourage these girls to overcome adversity, all while being insanely fashionable. Feel free to write down your sentiments toward Inomata in the comments. Did she design characters that play a role in your life? Also, be sure to let me know which anime or games you want to see in this series going forward. See you next time!
Thanks for watching.
If you enjoy this channel, help us grow by liking, commenting, sharing the video, subscribing to OtakuDaiKun, and
most of all, smashing that notification bell so you don't miss out on all our anime lore, discussions, and Let's Play content.
you can support us directly through Patreon, Subscribestar, or a YouTube membership, all of which come with benefits like spicy exclusive vids and early access.
As always, celebrate your fandom. I want to give a special shout out to all my $10 and up supporters. Video Gamer 75, Dante Pendragon, Stephen Elak, Samuel Gersten, The Nonchalant Ostrich, Otaku Mom, Jens Bauman, Mystic Samurai 1983, Lord Omagoden, Freebrick, Alexis Yukio Gomez Yamato, Link Pendrago, Observer Bellis, James Hewitt, Uncanny EXP, Zamas Autonomous, Scout, Yuki Eidos, Crowe Kalem, Saul Soto, Tristan Riggin, Meifu Mado, Caitlin P, Sogai CH, Vladimir Ovna, The Taz 96, Jonathan Padua, Kengo X77, Hersha of E-Rated Hands, Alistair Bernadotte, and Akakaze Yume. Thank you all so much.